Hello everyone, XV here from youtube.com/XVRogueGaming, and for those of you who remember, I did a series on learning Dota 2 a while back for Dotacinema. This will be the first video of many that will pick up where I left off, designed to take your game to the next level. This video is intended for introductory to intermediate learning. The advanced version will appear on my channel on Monday for those of you who really want to dig deep. To launch this reboot, I've decided to cut up laning into 5 parts. In these videos, we'll talk about each lane from a particular side's perspective and touch upon how to handle soloing, duoing, and tri-laning each one. Information on how to respond to the opposing team's composition will be talked about in the advanced versions. To start, we'll be talking about the bottom lane as Radiant. Wards can serve a lot of purposes: watching the runes, watching for ganks, or even setting them up. In this video, we'll be focusing only on wards that make bottom laning easier as Radiant. But that doesn't mean that you can't place a ward that helps you in bottom and also helps the other lanes. This ward, for instance, is amazing. It keeps an eye on the rune while giving you complete vision behind the tree line that the most common ganks are staged. Note that I approach from inside the neutral camp. This is a good habit to get into, especially if placing this ward at level 1 to avoid getting caught out by the Dire team should they be aggressively warding themselves. Next up is this ward. A little bit more aggressive than the first, it sees past the Dire side of the river and gives you some much needed vision if you're trying to attend the secret shop. Be careful not to place this ward too far forward, however, as it will be spotted by the Dire tier 1 tower. Often, Dire players will block your creep camps. The worst thing that can happen is for you to buy and place a sentry ward and not catch theirs. What you want to do is look at which camps are blocked. If only your pull camp is blocked, it's safe to say that their ward will be in this area, so a sentry ward here will reveal it. If both the pull and pull through camp aren't spawning though, they've either put down 2 different wards themselves, or more likely placed one exactly here. If only this camp isn't spawning, it's safe to say they've put their ward here to not only block, but also see the rune. A lot of players buy the same items to start without taking into consideration the lane they'll be in. The reality is that lane has a huge impact on how you should start your hero. The side lanes have access to their own shops, and as Radiant on the bottom lane, you have the easiest time shopping from it as well due to where the creep equilibrium normally rests. It's important to consider what items you'll be able to complete with components from the side shop and factor that into your starting decisions. The biggest mistake I see made most commonly though is the opposite: people who factor in the shop in the wrong way. What am I talking about? Recipes. If you've ever started the game with a soul ring recipe, you fall into this category. Investing 125 gold into this is a complete waste. You save nothing but a courier trip, and you're that much weaker as a hero. Those couple stats you could have had go a long way. Narrow survivals and barely successful last hits become early deaths and missed gold. Another one that is worth noting, but up for debate, is the Ring of Protection. The early armor is typically a large waste. Despite being able to turn it into both tranquil boots and or a Ring of Basilius with items from the side shop, I advocate stats, and more stats to start. The next thing to consider when talking about the side shop is when and how to buy from it. It's important that the lane is pushed, or else you run the risk of getting pincered or otherwise beat down. If you have to, contribute a few auto attacks to help shift the creep momentum and throw out a little aggressive harassment towards the Dire heroes. This will cause the Dire creep to attack you, and in doing so, stop attacking the Radiant wave, helping turn the tide. It will also drive the enemy heroes back long enough for you to get in and get out. Start by opening up the shop and shift clicking the item into your quick buy tab to make sure you spend as little time as possible in that dangerous position. The only types of hero that should solo this lane as Radiant is a carry or hard carry. Not only that, but it should be one with a true escape like Weaver, or if nothing else, a semi-escape tool like Phantom Assassin. When soloing, a ward behind the tree line is paramount, and it is critical that you are constantly aware of the map positions of the enemy heroes. Not just in the bottom lane, but across the whole map. You are isolated and alone, and that makes you a prime target for ganks. In order to keep yourself alive, dole damage out sparingly to creeps, focusing only on last hits. Try to keep the wave here where the creeps are out of tower range but you're under it. This will discourage ganks until around level 3 to 4 at the earliest. Despite being called the easy lane, soloing it can be difficult, especially against particular opposing lineups. This is the most common bottom lane combination. Also known as a babysit, the combination is a hard carry and another hero to help secure the carry's farm and harass the enemies while in turn preventing them from harassing their partner. This also allows the carry in question to lane even if they don't have an escape mechanism such as Spectre or Stealth Assassin. Under no circumstance should two carries end up in the same lane, even bottom. This typically occurs in lower skill games when players overpick carries or just bad lane assignments by bad players. The positioning is a lot like soloing for the carry, but for their partner, it's very different. The babysitter should not attempt to take last hits. Instead, they should move up to the sides and harass the dire heroes, doing what they can to force them back and preferably out of experience range. It is also the partner's responsibility to pull the lane. If they're doing a good job harassing, then the opposing heroes won't be getting last hits. This has a twofold effect. First, the obvious and intentional reason is to reduce the gold the dire heroes get, but the unintentional side effect is that the lane will naturally push towards the dire tower. Last hits don't make up a lot of damage per wave, but each one of those hits is that much less damage your NPCs need to do, and it causes the dire wave to recede. Stacking the pull camp is required, and then on the 15 and 45 second mark, simply drag the monsters into lane to intercept the reinforcing radiant wave. During this time, the carry will have to play cautiously to avoid getting picked off, and the creep equilibrium will rapidly pull back. I'll go over more advanced pulling and chain pulling in the follow-up on my channel Monday. Tri-laning really only has one purpose. That's securing enemy hero kills. While a babysitter makes a carry's life much easier, increasing their gold per minute and chance for survival, a third hero in lane does not warrant enough benefit to be worth the experience they take. When picking heroes to tri-lane, the theme is simple: stuns and disables. Typically, you'll still want a carry, and preferably one with a ranged nuke or blink-like ability to ensure they get the last hits. This, coupled with two supports or a support and semi-carry with stuns such as Lina or Sven, is a great way to ensure easy, early kills. The biggest mistake that players make in this scenario is stacking their stuns instead of chaining them, losing precious seconds and letting enemies get away. Executed correctly, the bottom lane should rack up 4 to 5 kills in the first 5 to 6 minutes and provide the carry with a hefty gold and experience lead. So, while there is more to be said about the bottom lane as Radiant, that's it for the basic version. Despite that, I hope you found this video useful for taking your game to the next level. For the advanced guide, check out my channel Monday. As before, it's you who decide the topics I'll cover, so be sure to post in the comments below. Each week, I'll do a giveaway for any item off the Dota 2 store to a random comment, provided the poster is also subscribed to my channel. This week on my channel, I'm doing a massive contest for a ton of Razer headsets, keyboards, and mice alongside 2 grand prize maxed out Dota 2 computers, so click the link on screen and check that out. As always, if you liked this video, please thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to Dotacinema and my channel to stay up to date. Until next week, this is XV, signing out.